Welcome back to Hoochos. How not to grow hydroponic tomatoes. This video is going to be all about my failings, so enjoy. So as you may have noticed, I haven't uploaded much on my NFT recently, and that's because I've been growing tomatoes in it, and I really haven't been happy with the way it's been looking. In fact, the tomatoes that I've got here are not only getting attacked by pests like Antechinus, which is a local rat we have in Australia, fruit flies, caterpillars, just you name it, I've got it. But the way that I've grown them and the spacing with which I've grown them means that they've overweighed the NFT and caused it to buckle. You can see the buckling happening here, and if I pull this back, ton of tomatoes in there, but you can see under here the pipe's buckled down, which is causing this part of the NFT to pull, which has actually caused root rot and killed a few of my tomatoes. And I'm pretty sure that this has allowed the pests to take hold. The Antechinus would have eaten the tomatoes anyway, but the stuff like the fruit fly and all of the other pests that are actually like the funguses that are eating the leaves, they're just a symptom of an unhealthy plant. And I'm pretty sure that's because Pythium's taken hold within the system because of this buckling and caused all of those problems. So what seem like individual problems are all linked and caused by an unhealthy plant. And this is the reason I'm probably going to step away from using my NFT to grow large viney or large bushy plants like tomatoes. Other plants, I'll show you, the eggplants are doing really well. So like these eggplants are doing fantastically. They are falling over in the system, and these eggplants are doing fantastically. But I am having trouble keeping them upright, which probably means that I should look at moving them into something like these. These are the Dutch buckets, and in keeping with the theme of the video, disaster. There was a storm. There's been two storms over the last couple of days, and I actually meant to trellis them or at least tie them up tomorrow. I've got a day off. So the storm beat me to it, and I will have to tie these up so that they can continue climbing. And I've just been lazy and I haven't done that recently. So in keeping with the theme of the video, how not to grow tomatoes, to show you how fast the growth has been in the Dutch bucket system, here's a time lapse. Now, I've been absolutely blown away with this method, and I'm going to start growing my larger plants that tend to fall over in the NFT in Dutch buckets from now on. The amount of water that the Dutch buckets have used is just minuscule in comparison to the NFT. And whether that's because of the amount of plants I have in it or because it's the start of their growth, I've only topped it up once since I put them in. Phenomenal. I'm really impressed with this method. And until recently, I had no problem with plants standing in them. But I will need to support them. I just need to stop being so lazy. So here we have another of my attempts to give the tomatoes some support in the system. They're growing up over and through this mesh. I will have to tie them up and onto the mesh. I'm just hoping that that can give them some support for the bulk of the plant while they're in that NFT rail. Hopefully this works. It's not ideal, and this is why I'm probably going to move the larger plants into my Dutch buckets. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to remove all of these tomatoes. I'm going to try and free up these two rails here that have buckled and clear the system, because I'm going to start moving towards having this system as my green system, and I'm going to extend the Dutch bucket system and better manage the tomatoes in it, as I've never actually properly managed tomatoes in the sense of training and desuckering and all the rest. So that's a learning curve for me. I'm going to do some research on how to do that, and we'll explore that in the future once I have enough confidence and information to pass on. So let's clean this system out. Oh, never gets old. I feel like I should be driving like one of those vintage cars and just be opening the trunk and, throwing a rug into the back, a really thick rug that just slumps into the boot. Cops! Or maybe I should say, watch out, it's the fuzz. What a waste. And that's just what was on the ground. There's heaps in the bushes. But, live and learn. Tick, 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 tick. Tick, tick, tick. So this is a good angle where you can see how much it was bowing. It was bowing way more before when the plants were in the system. So now I'm going to disconnect. Well, I've already turned the taps off on these two runs, and I'm just going to turn the T-pieces up, and we can pull out the pipes from the end, and hopefully, yuck. That. Turn the T-pieces up. So we'll take all the pucks out. But that's okay. Hey. Ugh. There you go. Tomato roots. That's what tomato roots look like in an NFT. They're getting big too. They're big plants. All right. Well, clear system, clear mind. So I'm actually propagating some lettuce at the moment that I'm going to start filling the system with. And I'm probably going to start moving this system towards a purely leafy green system. And I'll use a specific nitrogen-rich nutrient solution, which is the Campbell's blue, diamond blue. And then I can focus on having the Dutch buckets as the system that I grow my larger, heavier topped, more likely to fall over plants. And I might have to look at some kind of structure to keep the pests out too. But that's a future video. How not to grow hydroponic tomatoes. There was a lot of waste and felt pretty bad for the tomatoes, to be honest. Pretty bad for myself too, because I didn't get to eat them. I'm a monster. Either way. See you next time on Hoochos.